Matatag Curriculum, English Grade 4, Quarter 1, Lesson 1. Comprehend literary texts.
Magandang buhay mga bata! Tara, samahan ninyo akong matuto kasama si
Teacher Aika, your online teacher. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell for more videos. Thank you!
Here are the objectives. Number 1, identify the setting, characters, and plot. Number 2, sequence the events of a narrative. At least 6 events. Number 3, make predictions. And last, number 4, conclusions or draw conclusions based on the text read. What Filipino folktale do you know? Do you still remember these stories? Like The Monkey and the Turtle and Legend of Pineapple. Can you share it to the class? And answer the following questions. Number 1, who are the characters in the story? Number 2, what problem did the characters encounter? Number 3, what was the most memorable part of the story? And last, number 4, what lesson does the story teach us? So let's define stories. Stories have characters, setting, series of events, and moral lessons. So today we're going to read a story about the Legend of the Deeper. It was actually originally written by Caroline Sherwin Bailey in 1906. A version for storytelling was written by J. Berg Esenwain and Marietta Stockard for the South Texas Christian Schools Speech Meet 2011-2012. The two versions were combined and modified for this lesson. So before reading, try to look at the picture of a constellation, Big Dipper. So the stars form the shape of a dipper by arranging themselves in a pattern that looks like a ladle or a scoop. In the sky, the Big Dipper is made up of 7 bright stars. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 bright stars. So 3 of these stars make up the handle of the dipper. So 1, 2, 3. So this is the handle of the dipper. While the other 4 form the bowl. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Even though these stars are far apart in space, their positions from our point of view on Earth create this familiar shape. This pattern helps us easily find directions in the night sky, like locating the North Star. Let's try to read the story about the Legend of the Deeper. There had been no rain in the land for a very long time. It was so hot and dry that the land was parched and brown, and even the big strong trees were dying. The water dried up in the creeks and the fountains stopped bubbling. let's try to make predictions. First question, what could the people feel in this kind of setting? What makes you say that? Possible answer, in this setting, people might feel inspired and uplifted, as the story of the Deeper highlights how kindness and selflessness are honored and remembered. This connection between celestial patterns and human values can evoke awe and a sense of wonder. Second question, what do you think would be the problem of the main character who is a little girl? Here's the possible answer. The main problem for a little girl in a story about the Deeper might be feeling overlooked or unappreciated, despite her kindness and selfless actions. She could struggle with a lack of recognition or support from those around her, leading her to question the value of her efforts. The story might then focus on her journey to understand that her kindness is meaningful, even if it isn't immediately acknowledged, and that the true reward comes from the goodness of her actions themselves. Next, all the people and creatures were so thirsty. Everyone felt weak. There was one little girl whose mother grew very ill. I must have a drink of clear and cold water, cried the mother as she lay in bed, so weak and suffering from thirst. For question number 3, what do you think the little girl will do? And why do you think so? Here's the possible answer. The little girl will likely continue performing acts of kindness and helping others, even if she feels unappreciated. She might do this because her actions are driven by a genuine desire to make a positive difference, rather than seeking recognition. Her perseverance will probably lead to a deeper understanding that the true reward is in the act of giving and the impact she has on theirs or others, rather than external validation. This approach aligns with the story's theme that kindness is its own reward. The little girl took her tin dipper and began her search for water in the dark night. By and by, she found a tiny little spring on a mountainside. It was almost dry. The water dropped ever so slowly from under the rock. The girl held her dipper carefully and caught the drops. She waited a long time until the dipper was full of water. Then she started down the mountain holding the dipper carefully, for she didn't want to spill a single drop. Here's the question. What made it difficult for the little girl to get water? This is the possible answer. The little girl might find it difficult to get water because the water source is far away or blocked by obstacles, making a challenging task to reach and collect the water. Next, do you think she will have an easy time on her way back home? And what do you think will happen next? Here's the possible answer. No, I don't think she'll have an easy time on her way back. She might face challenges like carrying heavy water or encountering obstacles along the path. What will likely happen next is that her determination and kindness will lead her to find a creative solution or receive unexpected help, reinforcing the story's message that persistence and goodwill are valuable. On the way, she passed a poor little dog who had been following her. The dog was panting for breath and was so thirsty. The little girl looked at her dipper, then poured some water into her hand and held it down for the little dog. He lapped it up quickly and felt so refreshed. The little girl didn't notice, but her tin dipper had changed into a silver dipper and was just as full of water as it had been before. Here's the question. So why do you think the tin dipper turned into silver? Here's the possible answer. The tin dipper turning into silver likely symbolizes a reward for the little girl's kindness and perseverance. In the story, the transformation could represent how selfless actions are valued and honored, even if they aren't immediately recognized. The silver dipper signifies that her efforts are precious and that her goodness is ultimately rewarded. This change highlights the idea that acts of kindness and determination have intrinsic worth and can lead to unexpected meaningful rewards. The little girl started on again, hurrying very fast, for she remembered how much her mother needed her, but she had not gone very far when she met a stranger in the road. He was tall and his eyes looked down with a wonderful smile into the little girl's face. He begged for a drink of the clear, cold water. So now, what do you think the little girl will do? Why do you think so? Here's the possible answer. Upon discovering that the tin dipper was turned into silver, the little girl will likely use it to help others or improve her situation. She might share the silver dipper with her family or community, demonstrating that her kindness and selflessness have a positive impact beyond her own needs. This reflects the story's message that good deeds are rewarded in ways that benefit both the individual and those around them. So, what do you think will happen next? Here's the possible answer. Next, the little girl might be celebrated and recognized for her kindness and perseverance. Her community could benefit from the silver dipper, perhaps using it for a common good or to improve their situation. The story may conclude with a deeper appreciation of the values of selflessness and generosity, showing how her actions have led to positive changes for both herself and others. So the little girl thought that her mother told her to always be kind to strangers. So she held the water up to the stranger. Suddenly, as the stranger drank, the silver dipper was changed into gold, full to the brim with sparkling water. let's make predictions. Why do you think the silver dipper turned into gold? Here's the possible answer. The silver dipper turning into gold likely signifies an even greater reward for the little girl's exceptional kindness and selflessness. Gold represents a higher level of value and recognition, symbolizing that her pure-hearted actions are highly esteemed. This transformation highlights that extraordinary acts of generosity and perseverance can lead to the most significant and treasured rewards. So, what do you think will happen next? Here's the possible answer. Next, the little girl might receive even more recognition and respect from her community. The gold dipper could be used to help more people, perhaps leading to improvements in the community's well-being of prosperity. The story will likely emphasize that her selflessness has led to lasting positive changes, reinforcing the message that true rewards come from acting with a generous spirit and that kindness can transform lives in meaningful ways. The little girl hurried along as fast as she could go. She was so tired and thirsty, but she would never take a drink herself. Her mother needs all the water that was left. She finally arrived home, and then came the greatest wonder of all. So, what do you think will happen next? Here's the possible answer. Next, the little girl might experience a profound change in her life and the lives of those around her. With a gold dipper, she might help bring prosperity or solve significant problems in the community or in her community. This could lead to a greater sense of unity and appreciation among the people, recognizing her as a hero. The story will likely conclude by showing that her acts of kindness not only brought tangible rewards but also fostered a sense of goodwill and harmony. The little girl held the gold dipper to her mother's lip, and as the mother drank, she became well and strong once more. And the gold dipper was changed to a diamond dipper, shining and glittering with gems. Let's make predictions. So something magical will happen next. What do you think will happen next? Here's the possible answer. Given the magical context, the next event could involve an extraordinary transformation. For instance, the gold dipper might grant the little girl on her or her community special powers or blessings, such as abundant resources, good fortune, or the ability to overcome a major challenge. This magical occurrence would likely highlight the theme that genuine kindness and selflessness can lead to wondrous and unexpected outcomes, bringing lasting positive change and enchantment to their lives. The diamond dipper left the little girl's finger to shine up in the sky. It shines every night to remind all little children that there was this little girl who was brave, kind, and unselfish. This is such a wonderful story to read. So now, here's the question. What makes the girl brave? Here's the possible answer. The girl's bravery comes from her selflessness and determination to help others despite facing difficulties. Her willingness to persevere in fetching water and her ability to stay kind and steadfast, even when unrecognized, showcase her inner strength. Her actions demonstrate courage because she acts out of a sense of duty and compassion rather than for personal gain, which often requires more bravery than simply facing physical dangers. Next, what makes the little girl kind and unselfish? Here's the possible answer. The little girl's kindness and unselfishness stem from her genuine concern for others and her willingness to put their needs before her own. She likely helps others because she empathizes with their struggles and wants to make a positive difference in their lives. Her actions, such as going through hardships to fetch water, reflect a deep sense of compassion and a desire to improve the well-being of those around her, even if it means personal sacrifice. And the third one, which part of the story do you like best? Well, I particularly like the part where the tin dipper turns into silver and then gold. This moment beautifully symbolizes how the little girl's selfless actions are recognized and rewarded in a magical way. It highlights the theme that genuine kindness and perseverance can lead to unexpected and extraordinary outcomes. This transformation not only reflects her personal growth but also demonstrates the story's message that goodness has its own rewards, which can be both magical and deeply fulfilling. So now, what we actually did is making prediction, and it means guessing what will happen next in a story or situation based on what you know so far. So it's like using clues to figure out what might come next. For example, if you see a character working hard, you might predict that they will succeed in their goal. So now, when you make predictions, remember to first, use clues. Look at the details from the story or situation to help guess what might happen next. Second, think about patterns. Consider what usually happens in similar situations or what has happened before. Maraming salamat sa panonood! Huwag kalimutang i-like at mag-subscribe para sa higit pang educational content. I-click ang bell icon para ma-update ka sa ating mga bagong video. Salamat! Matatag Curriculum, English Grade 4, Quarter 1, Lesson 1, Elements of a Short Story.
Magandang buhay mga bata! Tara, samahan ninyo akong matuto kasama si...
Teacher Aika, your online teacher. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell for more videos. Thank you!
Hello kids! How are you today? Are you ready for today's lesson? If yes, then let's start. Our topic in English 4 is about elements of a short story. This is Teacher Aika, your online teacher. Let's go! Here are the objectives. Number 1, identify the setting, characters, and plot. Number 2, sequence the events of a narrative. Number 3, make predictions. Number 4, draw conclusions based on the text read.
Created using Powtoon.
If you wanna stay relevant, gotta stick to the elements. If you wanna get the story, then repeat these words for me. Exposition, rising action, then you got the climax. Falling action, resolution, go ahead and try that. Exposition, rising action, then you got the climax. Falling action, resolution, go ahead and try that. First comes the exposition, also called setting. No setup for the story, then we don't know where it's heading. Got to make clear where the story takes place. Introduce characters, just give you a taste. Introduce time and place, try to set the mood. For example, give your character a little attitude. Get to know a bit about the location before you get into the drama situation. Next is rising action, conflict is coming. Story started stable, now it's off and running. Rising action is the drama, getting hot. It thickens up the story, it thickens up the plot. The plot is the events that make up a story. With no rising action, you know it's gonna bore me. The more conflict, the more intensity. I hear the hook calling my name. What's that you sent for me? If you wanna stay relevant, gotta stick to the elements. If you wanna get the story, then repeat these words for me. Exposition, rising action, then you got the climax. Falling action, resolution, go ahead and try that. Exposition, rising action, then you got the climax. Falling action, resolution, go ahead and try that. Here comes the climax, the most exciting part. It was leading to this moment from the very start. All the drama, pressure, and back and forth fighting. It's coming to a point, yes, it's so nail-biting. The climax is the turning point, like an explosion. Like when the glass beaker can no longer hold the potion. Like a final battle, it shakes with suspense. The climax, the energy, it's all so intense. Exhale, it's time for falling action. For so long, the story was gaining traction. But after the climax, the tension decreases. All of the emotion now releases. Falling action tries to patch things up. Although events happen, nothing really erupts. Conflict resolved, and now a relaxation. Moving toward the end, there's a calm sensation. The final element, it's the resolution. Every story's gotta have a big conclusion. Wrap the story up, it's time to be closing. Characters are finished for the story that you've chosen. No more conflict, but maybe there's a lesson. What were the issues that made the characters stressing? Maybe now they learned, maybe now they've grown. Resolution is where the great lesson is shown.
Before we start, let us define what a short story is. A short story is a short and fun piece of writing. It tells a tale with a beginning, middle, and end. But it's much shorter than a book. Elements of a short story. Characters. The people or animals in the story. For example, the three little pigs. The characters are the three pigs and the big bad wolf. Setting. Where and when the story takes place. For example, in Cinderella's story, the setting includes Cinderella's house, the royal ball, and the kingdom where the story happens. Next, we have conflict. The main problem or challenge in the story. In Jack and the Beanstalk story, the conflict is Jack struggles to overcome the giant and take back what he needs. Plot: the sequence of events in the story. Example: Goldilocks and the Three Bears. The plot involves Goldilocks entering the bear's house, trying their porridge, chairs, and beds, and then running away when the bears come home. Next, we have theme. Theme is the big idea or the lesson the story teaches. For example, in The Tortoise and the Hare, the theme is that slow and steady wins the race, teaching the value of perseverance. Point of view: the perspective from which the story is told. Example: in Little Red Riding Hood, the story is often told from a third-person point of view, showing what happens to Little Red Riding Hood and the wolf. Next is dialogue: the conversations between characters. Example: the gingerbread man. The dialogue includes the gingerbread man saying, "Run, run, as fast as you can," to the people and animals who chase him. Style: the author's unique way of writing. For example, in Dr. Seuss books, the style includes rhyming and playful language that makes the story fun to read. Tone: the feeling or mood of the story. For example, the tone in the Winnie the Pooh story is cheerful and gentle, making readers feel happy and calm. Next is symbolism: when something in the story stands for something else. For example, in The Wizard of Oz, the yellow brick road symbolizes the journey to find one's true path or destiny. So this time, this is an activity. Have the students fill the story map. Let's have an activity. Read each statement below carefully. Write T if the statement is true and F if it is false. Number 1. The setting of a story tells us where and when the story happens. Is it true or false? The correct answer is T. True. Number 2. The climax is the part of the story where the characters are first introduced. Is it true or false? The answer is false, or letter F. Number 3. The plot is the sequence of events that happen in the story. Is it true or false? The correct answer is true. T. Number 4. In a short story, the theme is the central message or lesson the story conveys. Is it true or false? The answer is T. True. Number 5. The setting is where and when the story takes place. Is it true or false? The answer is T. True. And that wraps up today's lesson. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you!